Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Health Made Simple Show. I'm your host, Dr. Bart, and today, as much as can call this a podcast, which it is, I could also call this a PSA, which is a public service announcement. And I say that because I'm going to talk very specifically about something that as natural healthcare providers, as functional medicine doctors, we see often. And we probably should be speaking about it more frequently in something called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It sounds like a lot, but really what it means is that we're creating so many toxins in the body, and I'll explain those in just a moment. So many toxins are coming into the body that we're having liver disease, and it has nothing to do with alcohol, so we call it non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. In fact, I see it in kids, which is absolutely sad and pathetic all at the same time. And I'll discuss why. But specifically, the reason I'm bringing this up is because just recently, meaning in one day, I saw 3 cases of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And yes, I see a lot of people, and yes, it's pretty common, yet to see 3 in one day is probably just a reminder for me to share with you how this happens and how important this is for us to pay attention. Because once the liver shows up on labs, it shows up on labs as having an issue. Folks, we have so many downstream issues. We have brain fog, we have fatigue, we have heavy metal potential issues. All of your hormones are most likely going to be out of balance once your liver's not doing its job. So many people right now are seeking hormone balance and thinking it's all about their hormones. And yes, the hormones are often out of balance, yet we're often missing the root of things, and that is the liver. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. And I'll give you some insights, some clinical insights of what I saw the other day and what we do about it. Because here's the good news. The liver is probably the single most resilient, powerful organ in the body. You can kick the crap out of it. I'm not telling you to do so. And you can also help it recover, and it can do so. So our liver, like the human body, is simply amazing as long as we give it the opportunities to do its job. So with that being said, let me share a little bit of insight on these 2 situations, and we'll pull all this together and give you some actionable steps. So first case is this. Is a gentleman came in after long use of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, inflammation drugs for aches and sores. Those are things for like knee pain and shoulder pain, etc. That are also pain relievers. And I bring up the pain relievers because the opioids and stuff like that can be very, very detrimental to our health. This is one scenario where I saw the liver enzymes through the roof. And so I see a lot of athletes. I see a lot of people who think, no big deal. I'm going to take a little bit of this. I play tennis on a regular basis. I practice jujitsu. I'm a little achy sore. I'm getting a little bit old. And they start to take these things that start to things meaning drugs. They start to take things, drugs, medications that interfere with the way that the body is trying to talk to us. And the moment we do that, the moment we start to interfere and tell the body to shut the hell up, you're wrong, I must be right, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. The moment we do that, most likely we're headed down the wrong path and we're going to run ourselves into trouble. And the second case, I'll actually just talk about 2 cases today. The second case, very interesting one. This young lady had been on a GLP-1, I think it's trizepatide, for about a year, and not uncommon, unless I'm not knocking them, but not uncommon, what I'll see for long-term use, which I consider a year or anything beyond that, I'll see malnutrition. And as a result of that, you'll start to see people with all kinds of issues. Fatigue issues, inability to sleep, all the things that were working out wonderful in the beginning start to backfire a little bit. Anyways, long story short, this person, she was under a lot of discomfort regularly and had a hard time sleeping. And I do see this with a lot of the GLP use, especially long term. As a result of it, she was using Tylenol PM on a daily basis. No big deal, right? It's over the counter. My doctor says it's okay. Not so much, folks. For a girl who does not drink, doesn't put bad food into her body, doing all the things supposedly right, her lipid panel looked fantastic, liver enzymes through the roof. What does that mean? Liver damage, folks. That's what that means. It means the liver is being damaged through these over-the-counter medications, often like Tylenol. My preference would be, frankly, for pain relief, and especially for not for your children. Do not give them Tylenol, folks. I'm ranting a little bit here, but look up the side effects. It is not innocent. 1 round of antibiotic, 1 round of Tylenol can have influence on the way that the liver works or does not work. So with that being said, what do we see? We looked very specifically at some markers. So if you're getting labs out there, you'll see markers in the comprehensive metabolic panel, which is pretty standard. You'll see things like your ALT levels and your AST levels. Those are the ones specifically that we're looking for when it comes to fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Well, and if you drink, those are the same ones that are going to show up as well. With that being said, those ones, once they start getting higher, they tell us things are damaged. Now, I've seen these in the hundreds. I've seen them in 1,000 when there's poison in the body. And we can overcome those. That's the beautiful thing. Often I'll see them start to raise 30, 40, 50. And in the beginning, you might think, oh, no big deal. They used to be in the 1920s. That's where we really like to see them, in the teens and 20s. Once they get into the 30s, 40s, and 50s, folks, there's damage being taken place, breaking down the liver. And as a result of that, everything in the body, everything we take into the body is going to have to pass through the liver. This is what protects us. This is the thing that if we happen to put on some sunscreen and we're trying to filter it back out of the body, it's the liver that does that. If you have hormones and you want them to be conjugated, especially if you're taking hormone replacement therapies, most of those are going to be going through the liver. If you're having issues sleeping at night, it's usually the liver's congested. If you have hot flashes, all of these things, if your metabolic system is slowing down, it's your liver. If you have thyroid functions, I promise you folks, your thyroid didn't just choose to quit. It is a big part of it will be part of your liver. So understanding how important the liver is and how we really should be nurturing and protecting it versus beating it down. And sometimes these so-called what seem to be innocent actions on a daily basis, whether it be acetaminophen, something like a Tylenol, or using an NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, maybe it's a pain reliever, maybe it's even some type of an aspirin or something like that. It seems innocent, yet it is not. The moment we decide that the body is no longer correct, and we decide that we're going to use a drug to override the body and tell it to shut the hell up, that's when trouble ensues. So what do we do for a couple of these things? Here's the beauty of it. It's relatively simple to support the liver to start to function better. I would suggest you get with a provider, someone who understands looking at the root cause, not just looking to see if it's just high or low, but looking at all the other markers. I mentioned a couple here today, but there's usually others that we look at. For example, any thyroid case, we certainly want to know what the thyroid is doing. Any thyroid case, we definitely want to know what the liver enzymes are doing. Anyways, so there's a couple of things that we use that we have a lot of success with improving the function over time of the liver. One is the old kind of gold standard when it comes to liver function is milk thistle. Milk thistle is an herb that's been around for decades and decades, probably hundreds of thousands of years being used. And the beauty is that not only will it help us detox the liver, but it also can help us restore and repair. It's considered a tropho-restorative herb, which means it can help us repair broken down organs, which is pretty cool. So if you have damaged your liver, you can overcome it, but we have to know it's there. And then the second part is we want to stop whatever's causing the damage. We'd like to stop that as well. So no doubt in these situations, do I make my suggestions and recommendations that they probably are going to want to come off the Tylenol, the thing that is breaking down their liver every night? And the answer is obviously yes, but clinically it's not that obvious because the individual who's on those medications, and so you guys hear me, I'm not trying to cast judgment upon anybody. If you're on those drugs, those over-the-counter drugs, you're taking them for a reason. You're taking them because you can't sleep. You're taking them because you're in pain and you want it to go away. Just trust me, there's other routes. And more often than not, it could be a combination. I'm never going to say that it's easy. It could be simple in explanation, but I'm not going to say it's easy. Most likely it's going to be a little inconvenient. You're probably going to have to jump over some hurdles in the beginning. And as you do that, though, you will become a better functioning human being. With that being said, so milk thistle is one of my absolute favorite. There's often I'll use a combination herb of milk thistle and globe artichoke. And then often if I see that there is the ALT and AST are elevated, it's also indicative that there is what we call obstruction in the bile. I mean, really the ability for the liver and the gallbladder to communicate back and forth. And maybe you don't even have a gallbladder, but things are getting congested in there. And as a result of that, or as what's causing that is that the bile is getting too thick. This becomes problematic because once that bile becomes too thick, then we're going to have an issue with certain hormones, especially things like estrogen. And then we're also going to have issues with eliminating, meaning pooping. So sometimes when we start to see liver issues, there's a direct correlation to constipation over time. So that's, with all that being said, I'm just using this moment here just to make an awareness, because I think sometimes we just forget. Even though things are over the counter, we have to step back and say, hey, listen, I need to do a gut check here. And sometimes this is just a personal inventory. Am I trying to defy and deny what the body's telling me? Listen, a lot of the signals we get, we may not like, although they're never wrong. Your body never lies to you. And the art of listening to your body and the honor and respect that comes with it is huge. I will not sit here and pretend to tell you that it's easy. It's not. I've had so many health challenges in my life. None of them, I look back at them, do I ever think, oh, that was an easy one to overcome? No, there's a lot of lessons in there. And yet I don't regret ever having to learn those lessons, because if they were always easy, I'd probably keep on doing. I'd probably keep doing the things that were harming them. So with that being said, keep doing anything. Keep leveling yourself up. Good for you for taking a little bit of time to listen to podcasts like this. I know this is a short one. And if you're interested and you want to do a deeper dive, maybe it's a hormone issue, maybe it's a liver issue, maybe you're just wondering how overall what your body's doing on the inside. We can do that. We can order you labs anywhere in the country. We can send you a requisite, et cetera. So I'll make sure there's a link below if you'd like to do that with us. We'd love to have you. With that being said, keep doing your thing. Keep leveling up. Make sure you're taking care of your mind, your body, your overall wellness. Y'all be awesome.